Okay. Hello everyone. Things set up. Welcome everyone to the stream. For those who don't know me, my name is Layla. Nice to see you here if you're new here. Today I decided that I wanted to take a break from long form projects, so we'll be sculpting something faster, something simpler in a way. And it's gonna be this concept right here. The link to the concept artists, they're amazing, is in the link down below if you want to check them out. Hello Angix, hello Warrior Maddie. You came in the morning today, it's 10 AM here in Mumbai. Yeah, so my stream schedule needed to change because of new additions to the team here at Maxon, so someone else is gonna be streaming during my time, my normal time, and I'll have to shift it to 5:30 PM for me, which is right about now. Hello Layla, how's everything? Hi Majiba. It's good. Good, thank you. How are things on your side? Let me quickly export out the image. Sweet. I've got some references on my right. And let's start with the sphere. Okay, something's weird going on. OBS is showing that 0 people are watching, but obviously that's not the case. Let me quickly check. Okay, YouTube says 13. Okay, had to reset the chat. But it did wipe all the messages. Hi Sansan, welcome to the stream. Okay, can you hear me well against the music? Please let me know. Let's get started. I'll bring in the... One sec. Cool. So that's the reference. I think I'll keep it to my left. We can hear you well. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Again, if you have any questions about what I'm doing on screen, or if you want me to slow down and explain anything, let me know. I do tend to go pretty fast when I'm not answering questions. So this concept, I've always wanted to make like a fantasy creature, and she's got really lovely horns and interesting facial anatomy, so I thought, why not trying something new. I feel like the lower part of the face should be a bit more elongated, like so. I was getting sleepy working late, so I'm glad your schedule changed. It's 11:40 PM here. Oh, nice. I mean, I'm glad it works for you. I mean, it works a bit better for me as well, because I can just finish work and get straight home and start streaming until I'm done. And I don't have to rush to work, because previously it used to be that I would get up at 6, start the stream at 6:30, and then yeah, leave at 8:30. Where is clip? Oh, there you go. Wanna clip jaw a bit. Say that's that. I think I'll be sculpting out the nose this time, even though I usually like to add it on top as a geo. Again, with this I'm following my usual logic more. Actually, less is more, the other way around. So I'm really trying to sculpt out as many things as possible with as little geometry as I can possibly have. So not subdividing anything at the moment. Let's take out Curve Pinch, my favorite brush that ships with ZBrush, and draw out a line. Trying not to make her look too creepy. Maybe before doing that, let's build up some of the lip area up. Like so. Then move down her chin slightly. Smooth this out a little bit. And let's go over it with Curved Pinch brush again. Creepy. I guess that's expected because I've only spent like 3 minutes on it. Macro, append eyes. Push them in. Let's fill them white. Rotate that this topology towards the front. It will make sense once we paint it. Turn on local symmetry, turn off dynamic if your symmetrical piece of geo is not scaling correctly. That's usually the reason. Yeah, oof, creepy. Like Grinch at the moment. Let's separate these two into groups and take clip curve again and clip it right about here, I think. Is she inspired by goat? I would ask the original concept artist, but I think these creatures are called fauns, F-A-U-N. So yes, potentially. I don't know my fantasy mythology that well, or should I say fantasy anatomy. Goat eyes are fascinating. Oh yeah, they have really weird irises, right? Even on the concept you can see that they are like oval and horizontal. Yeah, that'll be a fun one. Their pupil is a horizontal line, it feels wrong, but at the right same time. Yeah, I once had to model a camel for work, a realistic one. And man, their eyes are freaky. Like, in a good way. They're very interesting. I'm going to check the proportions so we can bring the concept forward. I mean, like a bit closer to the camera. And try to line up some of the facial features. Like, let's say the nose or the eyes. Obviously, it won't be one-to-one. Also, it's a good idea to turn on the perspective when you do that. Well, yeah, it's more or less as that. So let's turn on document, turn it to the side, and I'll save a camera view here. This is like Photoshop, no? ZBrush? No. I would say they're quite different. ZBrush manipulates objects in 3D space, whereas Photoshop is a 2D program. I'd say they're very different. It looks really freaky, but it won't last forever. You just need to get over this uncanny valley stage. Also, if you're new here and you don't know who I am, there are links down below so you can check out my works if you'd like. I finally set up my link tree, so all of my socials are in the same spot. Took me forever, really. Would you mind showing again how you save the camera view? Yeah, sure. So usually you'll have like just tool tab over here. Just go to document and pin it to the side. You like click on this, it'll like jump here. And then you scroll all the way down until you see Zap Link properties, this one. Click on it, and now whenever I like go to an angle that I want to save, just click on it and it'll save it. So then I'll be sculpting, and then I can click on it again and it will snap back to it. It's pretty useful. I use it all the time when I need to match something to a reference, which is almost every single day at work. Turn on AccuCurve and pull them out a little bit further back. That is one wide smile. Maybe it's too wide for my taste for now. Let's keep it as that, and then we'll be able to pull it later. Thank you, you're welcome. Hey guys, any recommendations for stitch brushes? There are so many of flip normals at the moment, but I'm looking for an easy to use and good quality brush pack, thanks. I mean, do you really need high fidelity stitch brushes? I mean they're so simple. You can make your own one in seconds, really. Just bend a ring, rotate it 90 degrees. Let's turn off perspective. Isolate it, delete hidden. That's a stitch done. Let's just reconstruct some levels so it's a bit lower subdivision. Delete levels. And let's say you want like a double stitch or something. Now brush, create insert mesh. It will ask you, do you want to do it? You say new. And now let's go to here. Stroke, curve mode. We needed to select our brush. Now stroke, curve mode. And you have stitches. If you don't want them to be this sunken in, maybe, yeah, okay, so it's because we need the intensity to be at 100. So intensity slider will determine how protruding they are. So if we set it to like something like 50, they'll be flatter. There you go. And you can create all sorts of stitches like this. Let's say auto groups. 45 degrees. 45 degrees. Cross stitch. There you go. Brush. Oh, maybe you would wanna select topological and move one of the stitches down, so it's actually like on top of one another. Now brush, create insert mesh, new. Now in this brush selected, stroke, curve mode. We can go here and drag it out again. Notice here it's not snapping to the surface. It's because you need to activate snap, and in the picker, depth. Okay, that's also on. Then I'm a bit confused as to why it's not snapping. 1 second, let's investigate. Okay, it's snapping now. Sort of. And we can switch to like every stitch as well. Wow, nice stitches. Fix looks like horror face. Yep, because I've spent 10 minutes on it. Hi Layla, have you used Marvelous Designer before? Yes, lots of times. Why is that? It's a really good piece of software for creating clothing. Let me take off these headphones. Would it be possible to add a seam with the stitches? No, not like this. If you wanted, there's VDM brushes and they would be like sculpting on top of your geo, not adding new geo. Then you could add a seam, but not this way. This way it's creating separate geometry, it's not creating a seam line at the same time. Love the topology on the new person, by the way. On the new person? What person? I have a feeling her eyes are not deep set enough. Perhaps that's better. Okay, let's give her a neck. Does ZBrush have a run simulations like Marvelous? It has dynamic tab that does have some stuff. I wouldn't say it's as complex as Marvelous because the ZBrush is not a software for creating realistic clothing. It is if you want to, but it's not like Marvelous. It's more like a sculpting software. So, that being said, it's capable of many things. Double. Let's go to geometry, dynamic, and let's turn on some thickness for this piece. Let's pretend it's a piece of clothing. Now we go, we should save. Where should I save it and as what? 1 second, let me create a folder on Girl. Cool, now that we've saved, go to dynamics and we can straight away just run simulation. Nothing will happen. Because we need to turn on collision volume. And let's set the inflation to something lower. We can tab embed the dynamics tab to the side. And if we run it now, you'll see it's doing something. It is colliding with the invisible floor that is right here. You can turn off floor collisions, I believe here. You don't want them. If we run them now, it will continue to drop down as if there was no floor. So, lots of cool things you can do with this. But that's not what we want to do right now. Now I want to focus a bit more on her face. What is ZapLink? I never used that. It's for storing cameras. You can move to the side, store a camera, sculpt somewhere, and you can snap back into it. I use it all the time to snap back to my reference position. So I'll be sculpting, and then I need to check, and then I'll snap back. That's like a menu for storing cameras. Hola! Hello! So cool. Thank you. I'm gonna give her a neck. Subdivide it once. Move it up. Scale it. So she's looking at us from like over the shoulder, so we'll have to position it later. I'm not going to be sculpting her straight in the pose. And also it will just be a bust. I am taking a break from long-term, long-form projects. Because I want to. Okay, let's say that's the neck. For now, let's give her some hair. She's got a lot of hair. Go to extract and set it to something like this. Maybe slightly a bit thicker. Yeah, this is nice. Let's dynamesh it. It's a bit too big of a dynamesh in terms of value. I don't want to have anything too dense at the moment. Everything needs to flow freely and not constrain me in any way. If I were to set dynamesh too high, I would be sort of shooting myself in the knee in a way. also give her some ears. Now that I see it, I cannot unsee it. The easiest way... I would want to sculpt them separately. Let me quickly delete these two. And a cylinder. It's a perfect start for an ear. 90 degrees. Scale it down. Now you can isolate it, and I have this custom menu. So I'm gonna set group by normals, and it's gonna calculate how the face planes are changing and at which angle, and it will determine how it splits the mesh into polygroups. Now why it matters, if we go to ZBrush and say keep groups, you're telling ZBrush to respect these groups, and we can set it to something like 0.1 and something like this. This will determine how much ZBrush is going to be smoothing these borders. So I don't want it to smooth it that much. And that's what I get. Maybe something even lower. You know, this is fine. I'll show you what we're gonna do with it in a second. That's the haircut my mom used to give me when I was 4. Fair enough. Was it comfortable? We'll get back to the haircut a bit later. I just want to give her an ear because it will kind of drive how the haircut is gonna go. Now we can taper it like so, and you can start to see how it's gonna resemble an ear. So something like this. By masking different points, I'm selecting which areas I'm affecting. So it's just your normal lasso deformer that you find in any 3D software package. Now we just need to hit accept. And that's our ear. We'll just need to polygroup, polyloop, like so. Then inset, polygroup all with standard setting, and then extrude, polygroup all. And that's our ear. We just need to polish it slightly. Maybe one looks nice. Let's position it the way that we want it to be. Maybe turn up here for now. I don't really see what I'm doing. How about see what I'm doing? Paper, like so. Accept. We can quickly do a mirror and weld so we can see it on both the sides. I didn't care what my ears were. You just chop my hair and it looked like a coconut. Oh. And I look like a coconut. Got it. Oh no. At least no hassle with the hair, right? It's summer now in New Zealand, and it's the worst season for people with long hair because you're constantly so hot no matter what you do. Like right now, the aircon is running in the apartment, but it doesn't really help. Let's go back to the reference and we can see how far off I am. The ears are somehow supposed to be here. That's interesting. Because in this case, the head would need to be at least this wide. We can try and make it, but I think it's one of those cases where 2D artists just guessed, and they guessed well, and it looks great for a 2D image, but it might be a bit too far for a 3D model. You know? Maybe we can try. She looks a bit funny. I mean, it could work. She's just a bit of a megamind now. What do you guys think? Maybe it's for the better. It's more stylized this way. And that does mean that we'll have to adjust the hair a little bit. But I don't mind. Okay. Looks like this area doesn't have hair. It does need a lot of room for those horns. That's true. That is true. I'm not gonna extend the sides of her head anymore. We'll just leave the ears floating for now. Then we'll see what we can do. Maybe we can hide it with the hair. That's the beauty of 3D. You can cheat everything. Now, neck seems to be a bit too thin for a head this big. So I'm gonna scale it up and move it backwards. A bit more. This looks about right. Okay. It's a bit too early for the eyelids. We can do it later. Now what I like to do is grab a damp standard and then roughly block out how her hair is gonna part, similarly to how my hair is just parting down the middle. It's very simple, boring, she's got a bit of a trickier one. So it's parting here where the fringe is, and then it's gonna part in many ways because she's got 1, 2, 3, 4 braids at least. I can see 4 braids, so 2 in the front, 2 at the back. So that tells me that she's gonna have a split down the middle. Maybe not starting from there, but at least from here. And the reason why it's important is because hair and hairstyles have anatomy to them, they have logic to them. And you have to respect it if you want your end result to look good. Okay, let's start putting on some hair strands and let's see how we go. Just using one of my brushes, not mine, but I bought them years ago for a few bucks. You can do the same with curved profile brush in ZBrush that ships by default. Not much different, not really. Yeah, maybe I like this one. And I also wanted to taper towards the start or the end, depends on how you look at it. Let's reset and do something of our own. Like so. Ooh. Now it's drawing the other way. Okay. Let's dock it here. Let's say that's fine. Just really don't like how it's flipped. Try the other one. Okay. It's a bit better. I just want to get some volume on here and then start adjusting it. And it will make sense in a second. Put it in. Mask. Let's make it a little bit thicker. Morning everyone. Hello to Mello, welcome. Some of you it's morning, for me it's evening. Maybe for someone it's already nighttime. Okay, let's say that's the hair strand. You can Turn up the opacity. Yeah, that has a place to be there. Why not? And now we can place the gizmo at the start of the tip of the, sorry, not the tip, the strand. And let's delete subdivision levels because ZBrush doesn't like it. And we'll try to make a duplicate with the subdivision levels on. Okay, now have a hair strand. Great. And that's how the story goes. Add new strands and you adjust them until they fit the requirements. And in my case, requirement is the concept art or character design. I don't believe it's concept art, it's just design. Very cute one. There isn't really any secret to hair. I get asked that quite often. Just keep on doing it until it looks good. And remember about layers as well. Hair is rarely just one layer. It's usually just layers upon layers. And if you add them in a smart way, in the logical way of the way that hair flows, I'm rambling, it will look good. Okay. That's the idea. Let's add a few more and then I'll leave it as is for the fringe. So just adding strand, subdividing it one time. Adding some thickness with move brush with backface mask turned on. What's the difference in using fiber mesh versus nano mesh for instancing hair or similar features? Nano mesh can do more than just hair strands. Nano mesh just, yeah, is an instancing menu inside ZBrush, as far as I understand. And fiber mesh is just for hair or fur. That's how it was designed. Plus, fiber mesh comes with all of these sweet fiber mesh brushes. Where are they? Yeah, Grim Twister, Grim Turbulence, all of these for styling. And Nano Mesh does not have that. So, in my understanding, that's the main difference. That being said, I rarely ever use Nano Mesh or fiber mesh for hair. If I need to make hair cards, I do it by hand. Okay, let's save, just to be safe. Okay. Always remember to look at your hair strands from all the angles possible. So from this angle it wasn't looking great. So I'm gonna come in and adjust. From the top, also not so great. On 3/4, also not so great. Now it's better. Again, thinking about that layering that we talked about earlier. Okay. We can try and duplicate it on the other side. Oh, nope. I don't want to clear anything. Sometimes I misclick stuff. There are just so many things to click in ZBrush. Thanks. Interested in how you will do the hair twisting. Twisting. You mean braids at the front? I will use a brush. Sorry, nothing magical about it really. There's the pre-made braid brush. That saves me so much time whenever I need to make braids. You can make your own as well. Just not gonna show it because it takes a bit longer than the stitches that I showed at the start. Quite a bit longer, I would assume. Again, remember it's not a 2D drawing, it's a 3D model, so we're trying to make everything look good from all the angles as much as possible. I keep on clicking on the wrong one, so I should just keep one. Yeah, the braids, I think. Yeah, so the braids would be done with just the use of braid brush. No secret there. Whoops. Should turn on symmetry, and then in curve functions, let's not snap, let's lock start. They start from out here and go down. They're much thicker than this. Much thicker. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. I'm just gonna modify it until it relatively fits proportions right. Let's turn on double. Is it ZBrush for the braids? Yeah, so there's so many online. You just type in braids brush ZBrush and you'll have it. Maybe I'll do a demo of how to make braids one day, just not right now, otherwise I won't get anything done. Okay, let's leave this as that. I would really like to add, well, first of all, split hidden. Second of all, I just, that's interesting. Okay, so let's go to stroke, modifiers, that's the one. Roll distance, let's increase it to get a smoother clay buildup. I sometimes prefer it to be smoother. And I just want to build up mass without having to go in and do it manually with each hair strand. We'll do it later. Just gonna get a better mass in. Quite a lot of mass here of the hair. That's an interesting shape. Why not? Put more here. We can break it up with some depth standard as well. Don't really care about it being too symmetrical right now. So I'm seeing that her nose is way too slim now. I will get back to it. Let's save. 1 out of 10. How hard would you say sculpting is for you without reference? I never sculpt without reference. Why would you? Do you draw without reference too? Sculpting is always hard when you do something new, and the more you repeat the process, the simpler it becomes, the more repetitive it becomes. And so for a cute girl who's like a semi-animal, I've done similar stuff in the past. I've sculpted animals, I've sculpted girls, so I have a mental library of what to do and what not to do. But also, I never ever sculpt without reference. Ever. If you want to do some brain exercises to memorize certain muscles, and you want to like go real hard and go for it, sculpt without references, but you will be making mistakes and you'll have to like do it over and over and over again. If that's your way of learning, hey, props to you. I just learn in a different way. Which one did I use? This one. So from 0 to 10, it depends. It can be 10 out of 10, and this one would be, in terms of difficulty, maybe like 4 out of 10. Because there's still elements that I haven't sculpted that much, like the horns would be a cool challenge. And her flattened out nose is a cool challenge. I don't think I've sculpted those kind of things before. New project, cool, right? I am excited to do something that isn't Jinx or Rapunzel. I am so over it. People on the internet received it very well and I'm grateful, but they keep on asking me to do more League of Legends mashups with fairy tales, and I cannot. You know, when you've like overeaten a certain type of food that you really liked, and maybe then you got like a food poisoning once, and then you don't ever want to see it again. That's how I feel. I'm still glad I did it though. It was a cool experience. But I don't think I'm gonna be sculpting arcane characters for a while. Also, very hot today, if you can't tell by my red face. It's about 25 degrees today in Auckland. Somehow it feels even hotter. Look hidden. I just want to rotate the bottom part a little bit. Also, quick save. Every 40 minutes is fine. Also try and inflate them a little. Okay. Are you using graphic tablet or display on-screen type? Display one, yeah. Not that it really matters. I've seen awesome stuff being done out of normal pen tablets. But I do prefer a display one. I know people that can't do displays at all. They feel weirded out by the concept of it. They're so used to drawing on normal tablets without screen. I see what's happening, what's bugging me about her face. So this part needs to be on top of it. That's how I usually sculpt. How much time do we have? I have another hour. So please guys, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. I'm here to answer them because in an hour I'll be gone. And why not chat? Right? I don't bite. Usually. Depends on who you ask. Let's do her horns. What's your favorite renderer? Anything that's fast. I've worked with so many. Real time and offline. I really enjoy Marmoset right now. but also learning a bit of Unreal. But my whole life I used V-Ray, so those three are great. But I've been really enjoying like fast and responsive renders the past year. Okay, I think this would give us pretty good horns. Let's try it. Okay, not bad. That would be one way of creating them. The other one would be to like start from a sphere. Not from a sphere, sorry, from a circular extrusion element. So these, all of these determine the profile that your curve is gonna have. And I'm just like debating which one produced better results. Arnold Redshift V-Ray. So I've tried V-Ray, a bit of Arnold, not much of Redshift. V-Ray is great. Arnold is also great. But man, they take a long time to render. We also use V-Ray at work, but as soon as you get that taste of real-time rendering, my god, there's no way of coming back. But here I'm just going over the whole thing with the move brush with the back face turned on. The reason being is because I want to get it closer to the concept. Okay. Give it a few more subdivisions. Again, just trying to get the shape closer to the concept by using Mech Cut brush. It's a very powerful brush. I think originally designed to work well for hard surface. but I mostly do like sharp planar changes with it on organic surfaces, and it works rather well. I don't know if I like the shape of the horns. Maybe this is a little bit better? Yeah, why not? Looks like there's another ridge going down the middle of the horn, so let's quickly add that. As you can see, when we're making it symmetrical, nothing matches up with the concept. That's to be expected. The sort of thing that happens with 2D to 3D translation all the time. Same as with this braid. So perhaps there's a third braid somewhere in the middle that I could add to fill in that gap to match the concept a bit better. Can you share those brushes? Which ones? Because some of them I purchased, I cannot share them. But if you just follow the same link as shows up when I hover over them, you see this one is by Polygon. Which one did I show before? So this one is by this guy. Yeah. This one's by this guy. I'm not allowed to share them, obviously. This is not my brushes to resell or reshare. But if you type in like airbrush by this guy, you will find it. Neck cut actually is a free brush, but Polygon came out with their own version of the neck cut. And I think that one you have to pay for. Okay, nice. Oh, also, maybe you guys would want to check it out. A big milestone for me today. An article on 80th level came out with my artwork, where I break down my latest piece, Jinx Puzzle. And yeah, just could not be happier with it. Here it is. Opted fully inside ZBrush, and in the article I go in depth on how I did everything from PureRef to ZBrush to all of this. So if you'd like to read it, there you go. Maybe you'll find something useful. It's been a milestone for sure in my career today, because ever since I got into 3D, I've always dreamed of one day writing an article for them. So yeah, dreams do come true. If for some reason you don't know who 80th Level is, they're like one of the biggest, if not the biggest, website covering news about 3D world, and they also publish articles about like how certain pieces were created. Let's give it a couple more subdivisions, and then can go over it with clay build-up brush. Start giving it more like organic look. Second. guess we'll be going over it a bit later once we're in more like detailing stage. For now, I'm happy with where we are with the horns. Oh no. ZBrush got stuck for a second. Thought it was gonna crash. Phew. Let's sculpt the face some more and maybe add texture to the eye. I believe it will help a lot in bringing the character to life. Let's search for some reference. Goat eyes. Okay, I see. Freaky. Now for my whites, I like to select something off-white towards like orangish area. Now, let's pick a very dark brown, almost black. Start painting. Let's see. Should be bigger. Okay. Well, if it's not right, always undo and try again. Mask, changed points. What was it? Not exactly what I want. Mask by color, by poly paint. Can mask the black bit, invert it, and now let's start introducing some color. I'll hide the mask even though it will still be turned on. Here is just to keep on layering lightly with very like middle ground focal shift, and keep on switching hues a little bit. I'm not afraid of like adding stuff from different sides of the color wheel, you know? Maybe nothing this strong, but could be something like this. And now just got this flip. I feel like I'm doing it a bit too thick. How do you handle the fatigue after working on a big 3D project? With something like this, a small 3D project that won't take long, maybe just a couple of days of work. Or like evenings, really, not really even days. Yeah. I mean, ideally, you would just step away from the computer and do something else, maybe have other hobbies, maybe go for a walk, for a hike. Definitely give yourself some time before jumping into the next one. But for me, it's a bit different. I do have to stream here, and I'm happy that I do, but also I am burned out from the previous project, you know, so do listen to yourself. I know how cheesy it sounds, trust me, but it goes a long way. Ooh, he looks freaky. Let's see what it looks like when it's posed. Maybe we went with the black line a bit prematurely. We can pose it and then we can paint it in. Okay, so now I know exactly where I want to put it. Whew, getting a bit tired. That's okay, let's keep going. So right about here, right? Okay. Color again, and having another line. Yeah, goat eyes. Weird. Never cheated. Of like showing just a little bit. Yeah, maybe that's the trick. Then I like to paint a little bit of a shadow with very low focal shift. But I do like to do it on another level. Sorry, not level, layer. like so. Let's keep going for now. Let's get back to her face. As she continues to work on the hair, I know I make little sense, but I would like to focus on her face some more today. Now, we have about half an hour left. There's not enough time to finish her, but either way, happy with the progress. I feel like this eye essentially was rotated too much. It's from the front. Doesn't look good. Yep, that's better. Now, I don't think I'll be opening her mouth for the sculpt. I would like to connect her ears though with her head. So let's do just that. Merge them. Awesome. Let's push in this connection. I'll explain why in a second. You guys are quiet today. Now let's add maybe 1 or 2 subdivision levels. And I'd like to refine this area some more. Not too much though, just to give ZBrush enough to work with. Okay, I believe I'm happy with this much. So, this many subdivisions. Now let's turn our transpose tool on and then go to the cog, remesh by union, accept, and now all of our polygroups have been stitched together and will make sense in a second. Brush Z, ZBrush guide. Let's draw her a superhero mask. It's the kind of mask I like to have in my models where possible. It just gives really nice loops for sculpting. Now should be another loop going around here and going around the mouth. I'd say I'm happy with that. Let's see what ZBrush does. Let's go here. Let's tell it to keep the groups and keep the smoothing of the group borders to the minimum. And let's see what it does with like 6k on each side, so 12k in total. Привет, привет. I noticed that if your power went out while ZBrush is auto-saving the current project that you're working on, it corrupts the file wherever you saved it previously in the SSD. Oh no, that's unfortunate. I haven't had a power outage while I was saving though. Potentially you could recover some stuff if you sent the file to the ZBrush team. I've heard tales of that. Okay, so ZBrush gave us this. I'm pretty happy with the density. I think that's how low poly or high poly, depends on how you look at it, it is. What I'm not happy with is some of these decisions that ZBrush made. So how about we take our smooth brush and just point out which areas we don't really like. So for me it's these ones. I don't like this connection. The rest is fine, it's at the back. This connection is awkward. The rest I can live with, I guess. And let's run ZBrush again. And voila! Every single area that I just smoothed, ZBrush just went in and said, okay, I'll fix them for you. Except for this one. It did not fix that one. Let's try smoothing it a bit more. Still not great. Let's combine these two polygroups. That's much better. Thank you, ZBrush. Now, this area appeared. You know what? I can live with it. Let's take our Z modeler and stitch 2 points to midpoint. And there you go. Got a sculptable, not good, but sculptable topology, which is what we need, really. It's nice. It will not create that many artifacts while sculpting. Not too happy with this, because it will create some pinching, but again, not the end of the world. We could try and ZBrush again, but I'm afraid it will give us very, odd results at this point. Can we export polypaint as UV and texture map for external editing? Not sure what you mean exporting polypaint as UV, because UVs are UVs and textures are textures. So separate things, but yes, if you were to create UVs for this mesh here or in other software. So let's go to UV Master and say unwrap. It will do its thing, and now my mesh is unwrapped. The way we can check it is we can go to UV map and let's set the slider to 0 and morph it, and there you go. That's our UV map. Now let's fill it with white color and like paint something silly like this. Now you just go to, sorry, misclicked it. Go to texture map, create new from polypaint. And there you go, you have a polypaint texture. Now you can clone it, texture, it will appear here. The only problem is ZBrush likes to flip everything on the vertical? No. horizontal angle. So you have to unflip it, flip V, and then export. And there you go, you have texture. Let's undo that. Okay, pretty happy with this. Let's duplicate it. And on this one, we're gonna go back in history to the point here. Now let's turn everything off but these two. The reason being, we're gonna reproject all the detail that we had there. Not much detail, but some. And now go to project, turn the upper, bad topology but good sculpt, and turn on good topology but no sculpt. And we can project. No need to project color because there isn't any. Autosave. And there you go. We got back all of our detail. Let's subdivide again and project again. Awesome. Fantastic. There you go. Now we can smooth out all of the transitions. Cool. Now let's get into actual sculpting of the face. And trying not to go too overboard with details straight away. Working in levels.
It's not exactly clear whether they even truly exist or could be shown to in the physical universe. If they do, if one day physics finds a use for them, that's great. But if not, that's great too. That would mean that we have, with this brain, a tiny thing, a septillion times smaller than the tiny planet it lives on.
Okay, no more questions, so I'll continue sculpting. Moving out any kinks that I see, and that's the beauty of having multiple subdivision levels. It's being able to go on the lower subdivision level and change things drastically if need be. Okay, now she's missing an extra eyelid. Right about here. You can try and give her one with curved pinch. pulling in with an inverted band standard.
That's great too.
Maybe with the lazy radius turned up just a smidge to give us more control. I'd like to redo that. Also, sometimes it's hard to see what's going on, so it's important to switch between materials every now and again. Have you tried ZBrush for iPad? Yes, I have. That's great. I love how they re-engineered the design of all the buttons. A lot of people have said that it's so much cleaner and more straightforward, easier to use. I'm just so used to normal ZBrush for PC that I mean, it looked like an improved version, but I don't mind the PC version either. But overall thoughts, very polished, very good. In my humble opinion, the best 3D modeling software on iPad out there right now. And you can do crazy stuff with it. I just prefer my desktop version for now. I have an iPad and tested it, but I'm a bit of a workaholic, so if I were to use the iPad version as well, I would sculpt just non-stop without taking any breaks, and I would burn out way quicker. So my time away from the computer is my relaxing time, and I try to keep it this way. Before we finish up in another 10 to 15 minutes, I'd like to give her some poly paint, which is what really brings the character to life. That'll be a bit tricky because the concept is in black and white. Okay, let's give her some eyelashes and then poly paint. Have you guys tried ZBrush for iPad? Did you like it? Yes, but I still struggled with the navigation wall. I mean, it's a lot to put in a mobile, like iPad version. So maybe some tutorials would be helpful. I don't personally have any, but I know lots of people who stream here have shared their tips and tricks for iPad version of ZBrush. Okay, eyelash is done. What I'd like to do quickly is insert primitive inputs, and then acute curve, topological. And this will be our eyelash. Now bend curve. Let's add a few divisions. Except fill it with black color. The eyelashes are almost done. Now we can just drag the gizmo here, duplicate it one time here. Greetings! Greetings, the Benjamin. Welcome. You are joining us towards the end of the stream, but hey, thank you for joining anyway. Well, nice job making braids. Thank you, but also it was a brush, IMM curve brush, so wasn't too hard. Kind of topological. Turn on acute curve. Spool of the corner of the mouth creates like a natural kind of like fold effect. I don't know what to call it really. Ooh. I like it being this wide. Feels a bit unnatural. Perhaps we don't need to match the concept exactly. Let's add this line as well. Completely skipped it. Which I think will help with likeness of the character. Never mind. Resigned it. Nice job making the everything else. Thank you. Okay. Do a clay polish pass on the hair. Maybe not. Let's save as well. There should be an option to mask bipolar group by hovering over it with the cursor. Haha. Would be so much easier to work with tricky parts like mouth and fingers. Mask bipolar group. There is. So let's say that's a polygroup. The modeler. Mask by polygroup. Oh. Is that what you mean? That's the mask. If you go to ZBrush and hover over a face, you can select the mask function and just select polygroup full. Did you do anatomy studies practice when learning ZBrush? Yes. I try to study as I go. So with each new project, I try to fix something from the concept art that I'll be focusing on, that I'll be like improving upon. So for this one, I wanted to like try a different type of face with like the flat nose and everything. And also the horns would be something new for me. Haven't sculpted a lot of those in the past. So setting challenges for yourself when picking concepts, I believe, is important. I feel like her eyes are too thin. So a way to fix that. Look like a bunny here. Which I think is a good thing. Bunnies are cute. She's meant to look cute. Anyway, let's place Gizmo somewhere here. Now let's turn off the braids and everything we don't want to move. We want to move the eyes though. On the eyes, let's turn on recording. And now click here. And now everything, ooh, going on here. Here and what? And now everything that we move with this option turned on, it's gonna affect all the subtools that are visible. I can move our eyes a bit apart. Which is what we want. Great. Oh, that's neat, thank you. Ignore the Z brush this whole time. Oh, don't. It's got so much to give. It's one of my favorite brushes. Don't ignore it. Alright, just smoothing out a kink I saw in this area. Not sure where that came from. Okie dokie. Pretty happy with this. Now let's add some poly paint on. How do you working on the horn details later on? Do you sculpt it manually? I think I would be. There are some ways to optimize it, the process. But yeah, I think I'll be doing it manually. Not today though, because we've been streaming for 2 hours now, and I won't be finishing her today. Let's add some color. So, the references I've gathered, I think she would look good with like normal skin tone. Or this area. Start with something darker. And then we can build up the color as we go. Let's switch to skin shaded and turn this texture off. Another thing I like to do, drag rectangular backface mask, dragging this mask on top of the mesh, fill the layer, maybe nothing this strong, but something like this could do. Okie dokie. Let's give her some more blush. Towards the ears and the cheeks, some in the nose. Now, in the concept, her lips stand out quite a bit, so I'll assume they are quite dark. And then the nose would be more towards brown. Like so. No questions so far. Okay, good. Let's give her some, I guess makeup would be the appropriate word for it. Maybe like markings. Let's paint some fleshy color on the inner parts of her eye sockets. Shadowing in that area won't hurt. Lightness in the nose bridge area wouldn't hurt either. Maybe not this yellow. Okay, something like that. Now her hair would also need to be dark. Let's fill it in with something like this, maybe? Ordens will need to be lighter. But yeah, that's the process. I don't think I'll be going into much more detail with her. This is how much I was able to do in 2 hours. I'm happy with it, and I will continue working her on the next stream. Why not? I believe we can finish her next stream for sure. Let's give her a bigger smile here. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the process. If you have any questions before I go, please drop them in the chat. Otherwise, I will be signing off. Then could clean the roots. Like in the hair as well. And that's that. I could sit around and keep on tweaking it for another hour or 2 or 3, but I do also need to take a break and relax a bit. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for the stream. Thank you, Anjana, for coming. Hi Layla, how's it going? Hi Saha. Unfortunately, I'm just about to end the stream. We've been going on for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Making this girl. Concept artist's name is in the description, by the way. If you'd want to check their works out, they're amazing. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you'd like to follow me anywhere, all the links to my socials are in the description below. And I'll see you all in 2 weeks' time, same time, same place. Or in 1 week's time in our ZBrush Discord hangout. All the links are down below. Yes, sound is not working. OBS is showing that it is working. Sure. Can you guys hear me? I can hear her. Okay. So maybe it's just on your side. Either way, thank you guys so much for coming, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Happy school.